I don't have that stupid Obamacare. I'm covered by the Affordable Care Act.
The Affordable Care Act is Obamacare, genius.
Yeah, so I just saw a video where we're still circling the airport when it comes to the Affordable Care Act versus Obamacare. Now, we have already established that those are one and the same. The name of the act is called the Affordable Care Act. But Republicans used to call it Obamacare because they knew that you were so stupid, you would think that Obamacare was something you didn't want. That you would think it was something different from the Affordable Care Act. They were right. And that's what it is.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop a like to help the algorithm do its thing. Now, today's story is one of those you can't make these up moments in American politics. MAGA supporters are fuming, raging on social media, and crying betrayal after finding out that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act, yes, the same ACA they thought was different, are actually the same thing. And now, with both being gutted under the new Trump administration, they are realizing they have been cheering for the very policies that are about to take away their own healthcare. Yeah, you can't write or you can't script ironies like this.
And which plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And what is it about Obamacare that you do not like?
I just think that there's a lot of holes in it, and it needs to be revamped. I think
and you think
hasn't been thought out.
You think the Affordable Care Act is a better plan than Obamacare?
Better, but I'm not happy with that either.
What do you agree with, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I'm more towards the Affordable Care Act, but I'm also very sympathetic for people that don't have the ability to have proper medical insurance.
So the Affordable Health Care Act is still a better option than
Yes.
Obamacare?
Yes.
And why do you not agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Well, I think it's not really available for all.
So the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Just the name says it all.
Right. You would agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely. I think it's nice that everyone can afford it, and everyone should be able to afford it, but to force people to pay something and then doctors to make something, limiting their ability to do their job, that's kind of anti-American.
Right. So Obamacare is un-American?
I think it's kind of un-American to force people. What if they can't afford it? What if they want more coverage?
And the Affordable Care Act is American?
I think it's more American because it allows people to make their own choices on what they want and who they want to work with.
Do you agree with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare?
The affordable.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I just don't agree with the whole Obamacare policy thing that's going on. I just don't agree with it.
And do you believe that an informed citizenry is essential to a democracy?
Yes.
So you disagree with Obamacare?
Yes, I do.
Do you think insurance companies should be able to exclude people with pre-existing conditions?
No.
Do you agree that young people should be able to stay on their parents' plans until they are 26?
They should be able to, yes.
Do you agree that companies with 50 or more employees should provide health care?
I do.
And so by that logic, you would be for the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
What plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And why do you support that over Obamacare?
Do not like Obamacare. I don't like anything that has to be forced for everybody to buy. It's just not good.
Do you think Obamacare is socialist?
Yes, I do.
Do you think the Affordable Care Act is socialist?
No.
Do you believe that Obamacare will eventually lead to gun prohibition?
Yes.
Do you know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
So MAGA, you're upset now because now you're finding out that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing. You voted to get rid of Obamacare. I guess because you thought Obamacare was only for you know who. Not knowing that the Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are one and the same. It was the Republicans who told you and gave the Affordable Care Act the nickname Obamacare. They did it to scare you, and you fell for it. So you voted out of hate to try to get rid of something out of hate. But now you're not going to have health insurance because he has been trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act since his first time in office. And now that he has no guardrails, it's gone. He's going to try everything in his power to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. So all of you who voted to get rid of Obamacare, you just lost your damn insurance. Oh well. I guess you live and you learn.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
Affordable Care Act.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Obama, so I don't support him in the Obama things that he's got going on. I'm actually really excited for President-elect Donald Trump, so.
Right. So you don't like anything Obama does and you prefer the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I support Obamacare.
So if you were a senator and you could vote today, you would vote to keep Obamacare instead of the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I guess the Affordable Care Act.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I'm not really sure. My girlfriend supports Trump, so I go with whatever she says.
What is the main difference between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act?
One is you pay, and then the other one is Obama pays for you.
Right, Obama pays, pretty big difference.
Pretty big difference.
I believe that Obamacare, the premiums are too high, so people end up paying more.
Right.
So I believe in the Affordable Care Act.
And so the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Right, correct.
Right.
Which is obvious based on the name.
It's in the name, right.
Right.
Why do you like the Affordable Care Act more than Obamacare?
Because I don't like Obama.
But you like the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
What if I told you Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
MAGA Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says Democrats are right about demanding subsidies for the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare be extended. Let me show you her clip.
And to allow Democrats to have some sort of moral high ground on this issue because they're the only ones talking about it, I think is a major failure from the Republican Party. And I'm not going to stand there and just keep talking the talking points when my own adult children can hardly afford health insurance premiums, when everyone in my district, it's the #1 issue that I hear about day in and day out, not just people on the ACA, but people that have private insurance as well. And I think it's something that we have to talk about.
Now, what she's talking about, one of the Democrats' demands for giving their votes to reopen the government is that the Obamacare subsidies be extended. The subsidies are running out, at least a portion of them, by the end of the year. Some people's premiums will double. You know, my premiums are already $1,500 a month. I mean, it's very expensive. They could double for some people. And what she's saying is her own children's premiums are going to double, her own child. And that's what won her over. Now, a couple things here. One, she's admitting the Democrats are telling the truth about Obamacare being a problem as far as the subsidies. Two, she's admitting the Democrats are telling the truth that they're actually fighting for regular Americans. They're not fighting to get illegals funding. That's what the Republicans keep saying. She admitted it. What they're fighting for is helping real Americans. Final point here. The data shows that the majority of the folks helped under Obamacare with these subsidies are Republicans in Republican states and Republican districts. That's why she's freaking out. This is not good for the Republicans, for the shutdown. It's great for Democrats. We're finally seeing a crack in the wall, which is great.
All of these Trump voters admitting that they didn't realize that Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act when they vehemently hated Obamacare is one of the most openly racist things I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't understand how they don't have the critical thinking and the thought process to just know not to say that out loud because of just how simply racist it is that they were so against Obamacare just because they associated it with Obama, which was the point. That's why Republicans coined Obamacare, so that racist people would hate it without understanding what it was. And that's exactly what they're admitting happened by saying they hated Obamacare and they thought Trump was going to get rid of Obamacare, but they have the Affordable Care Act and they didn't realize they were the same thing. I don't wish that they would keep it in, but it's insane to me that they don't have like the maybe 2 or 3 step thought process that tells them don't share that out loud because you are self-exposing that you are super racist.
Okay, guys, we got to take it easy on MAGA. I mean, yes, sure, they falsely believe that Democrats want to give health benefits to the undocumented migrants, even though it has always been a federal law that states that undocumented migrants do not get access to the ACA. But speaking of the ACA, guys, you got to remember who we're talking to. We're talking to people who have willful ignorance. They won't research anything. I mean, don't forget, these are literally the same group of people who thought that Obamacare and the ACA were two completely different programs. Okay, so you got to understand the intelligence level that they have and what you're trying to compete with. I mean, nobody can stoop down to a level that damn low when you just they won't even oh my God. I mean, again, these are the same ones who believed about the cats and the dog being yum, 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 here in Ohio. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's comical at times, but also sad at times because, like, they truly do not know how to think for themselves. I mean, whatever Mike Johnson says, because remember, Trump was an informant for the FBI, according to Mike Johnson, and that he worked with the FBI to bring Trump down, Trump worked with the FBI to bring down, Jeffrey Epstein. There's no documentation of that, and even Mike Johnson had to back check on it. But like I said, guys, we got to understand that we are dealing with people who they're just not intelligent. I mean, that is the reason why Trump loves them so much and Trump hates us. Remember what he said, smart people don't like me. And notice how all the people that like Trump are not the smart ones. So like I said, guys, let's cut them a break. Just a real tiny break. Because I still love dog walking the shit out of them because they just make it so easy. MAGA, you will never win. Liberals own you, we will always own you. So just get used to it. Just be quiet, okay? Go sit in the corner of the room, suck your thumb, and pretend that Daddy Trump actually cares who the fuck you are.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. We were told the Affordable Care Act was going to make healthcare, well, affordable, right? That was the whole pitch, the whole shtick. Fast forward to today, and the government is literally shutting down because the same people who pushed Obamacare are now saying healthcare costs are too high unless the government steps in with even more subsidies, which, by the way, is just a fancy word for saying your tax dollars. So the Affordable Care Act is affordable as long as you pay someone else's bill. And here's the funny part. This isn't even new. In healthcare, you only ever get 2 out of the 3 things: affordability, high quality, and covering everyone. Pick any 2. If you want everyone covered and high quality care, it's not cheap. If you want cheap care that covers everyone, the quality drops. If you want cheap and high quality, not everyone gets access. That's reality. But instead of admitting that trade-off, politicians are shocked when the numbers don't magically work. So now we're shutting down the government over a law that was supposed to prevent this problem in the first place. The irony writes itself. The Affordable Care Act is only affordable if someone else is paying for it, and that someone else is you. Appreciate you.
If you or someone you know receives Medicaid, you need to listen up. If you're new here, my name is Crystal. I am a social worker and a caseworker. I have been working in the social service field for over 10 years. I've also worked at the SNAP, Medicaid, food stamp, public aid office for over 6 years. I have processed hundreds of Medicaid applications, and I am shocked by the number of people who don't know that the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare is the same thing. It's the same thing, y'all. So if you receive insurance from the state and you are not disabled and you do not have a child, that is the Affordable Care Act. That is Obamacare. So when certain people are screaming to the top of their lungs that they want to cancel Obamacare and they are repealing Obamacare, that is the Affordable Care Act. That is what millions of people in this country have right now because they cannot afford to pay for health insurance. I really try not to get political on this page, but it's hard because everything is political. This is political. Your health insurance is political. My job as a social worker is political. They're talking about your health care. They're talking about your sister's health care. They are talking about your mom's health care. And when asked what they are going to do to replace your health care, this is what they're saying.
We have no choice but to absolutely replace Obamacare, and we're going to come up with a much better plan. We're going to come up with a great health plan, and this is a great plan. Wait till you see the plans we have coming out literally over the next 4 weeks. We have a plan coming out, an additional plan coming out in a very short period of time. We're going to have fantastic health care, and the plan is coming out over the next 4 weeks. We're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks.
9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
For years, many Trump supporters proudly shouted "Repeal Obamacare" at rallies. They held signs, chanted, and even thanked Trump when he promised to end it once and for all. But here's the twist. A large number of those same people are using the Affordable Care Act to get their health coverage. They loved their ACA plans. They told reporters how the ACA helped them finally afford prescription drugs, doctors' visits, and surgeries they would be been putting off for years, right? But say Obamacare, and suddenly it was evil government socialism. Fast forward to now, Trump's administration just announced that the ACA exchange will be completely dismantled by next year. Subsidies are gone, Medicaid expansion is on the chopping block. And millions of Americans, especially those in rural red counties, are about to lose their coverage. And suddenly, the MAGA crowd is shocked. They are furious. They are asking, wait a second, what do you mean Obamacare was the ACA? Oh yes, my friend, the realization hit like a freight train. So Twitter, Facebook, and local news outlets have been flooded with interviews of Trump voters who are just now realizing what's happening. One woman in Kentucky told a reporter, "I'm fine with them getting rid of Obamacare, but I need my ACA plan for my insulin." And the journalist had to break it to her. "Ma'am, that's the same thing." Another man from Ohio said, "I thought Trump was only ending Obamacare, not the Affordable Care Act. My family needs that." You can almost feel the collective facepalm from the rest of the country. This is what happens when political branding and partisan propaganda blur reality so much that people end up voting against their own well-being. Now, it's not even funny at this point. It's tragic. Now, let's take a step back. How did this confusion even happen? Simple. Years of messaging, conservatives in Congress and right-wing media spent so long demonizing Obamacare, using that name as a scare word that they never actually explained what the Affordable Care Act was. Now, meanwhile, millions of Americans quietly signed up for ACA benefits, thinking it was some separate, better program. But now, the political consequences are catching up. Yeah. When you build an entire movement on misinformation and identity politics instead of facts, eventually the truth catches up. And when it does, it doesn't care who you voted for. Right. Now, the economic effect will hit hard. Hospitals in small towns that depend on ACA reimbursements will lose funding. Rural clinics might shut down, and the uninsured rates expect it to skyrocket again, especially in Trump's country, or Trump country, right? All while the same politicians who promised better, cheaper healthcare are now shooting and saying, well, the market will sort it out. They don't care. So here we are. MAGA supporters furious, confused, and suddenly realizing that Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act all along. Now, the same program they relied on, the same program that it's now vanishing under the leader they fought so hard to re-elect. It's one thing to, it's one of those moments where politics meets irony and reality wins. But here's the big question, guys. Will this be a wake-up call that finally makes people research policies instead of slogans? Will Americans start voting based on what helps them, not who makes them angry? Or will this cycle of confusion, outrage, and regret just repeat itself again in 4 more years? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think Trump supporters will ever admit they were wrong about Obamacare and the ACA? Or is denial just too deep at this point? You understand? Now, as always, don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe for more honest takes on the news that really matter. Until next time, stay informed. And maybe, just maybe, read the fine print before cheering for a policy that takes away your own healthcare. I'll see you guys in my next video. Credit belongs to original creators. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.